Well, millions of Americans have been diagnosed with COVID-19, many of whom have since recovered and they've moved on with their lives. However, doctors are now finding some lingering effects among those who supposedly recuperated from the virus. 25 News reporter Aaron Heft shows us how life after COVID might look.
David Hall. He came down with COVID back in February, and surprise, surprise.
Now, I have COVID again.
He, like many others, worked through his symptoms at home. But after his recovery, he lacked coordination and then started losing the feeling in his hands, then his feet.
So then I went to the neurologist and they diagnosed me with Guillain-Barré, which they later said was directly related to COVID.
A lifelong runner and cyclist, now struggling with the basics.
It literally makes it difficult to button a shirt or, unlock your car because next thing you know, you just can't feel something.
I spoke with Dr. Matthew Patillo, a pulmonologist with Ascension Providence, to see what he's seeing at the front lines.
We are seeing some lingering effects in certain people, and I think the interesting thing is you really can't pinpoint who it's going to be.
Speaking from experience.
I personally had COVID about 3 weeks ago.
His whole family ended up catching it.
And we fortunately didn't get very sick.
That's what he says is tricky.
We don't have all the answers as to why some people have these lingering effects and others don't.
Saying most of his patients, even the ones on ventilators who recover, end up having good x-rays a few weeks or months later.
This is certainly real. We are seeing a lot of patients here in the hospital. We have a lot of critically ill patients, and we've lost a lot of patients. But still, the vast majority of people who get this disease, fortunately, will not be hospitalized.
That said, if Hall was given the chance at a well-vetted, on-the-market vaccine tomorrow, he says,
I think at this point I would do it just based on how I feel right in this moment. It's a pretty rough thing to go through.
In Waco, Aaron Heft, 25 News.
Aaron, thank you. Doctors say the top lingering symptoms mentioned most by their local patients are inability to experience at the same level as before the virus, shortness of breath, a cough, and overall fatigue.